Greetings, fellow University of Kearney Lopers. My name is Dustin Sutton. I am a current senior at the University of Kearney. I am studying criminal justice corrections, and I am studying to become a probation officer or a parole officer working with adults and or juveniles. I currently have an internship lined up at the probation office here in Columbus, Nebraska. I've just been granted and accepted into that internship this week, and so I'm pretty excited about that because that's one requirement that I'm going to need to fulfill my graduation. Plans that I have after graduation are, I'm currently employed full-time and going to school part-time, so if I can't get into a line of work right away, I'll continue working my full-time job until I can get into finding something that along with my career, and I guess just enjoying life from there after I graduate. I don't really have anything that I would do differently at my time at the UNK, but I guess I would probably get involved if I lived closer with some of the communicative processes that are available at UNK, like groups or whatever have you. Things that I wish that I may have participated in while I was at UNK. Like I said, if I lived closer, maybe I would get involved with some intramural sporting events or something, or maybe participate in some sort of music, because I do like, I play drums and stuff, so I would maybe get involved with something like that. Things that I'm glad that I did at UNK. Well, first of all, I'm really glad that I enrolled at UNK because the professors and the staff have been nothing but amazing. They've really helped me out in fulfilling my requirements that I need to do in order to graduate. You're going to be selected an advisor. Your advisor is going to be a pivotal role at your time at UNK. He or she will get you enrolled in the classes, talk to you about what may or may not work for you in a certain semester, kind of as you move forward, just kind of helping you plan to get your classes done. And if you're lucky enough like me, you'll have a very knowledgeable online advisor. Help me organize my semesters, understand in future classes when they may not be available. And they also have multiple things on campus to do, so if you don't get in contact with them, they will get back to you as soon as they can. And don't be afraid to ask questions to your advisor about classes. They'll be able to help you out. As for classes, these are just my recommendations and what I've experienced at my time at UNK while taking all my classes online. Make sure that you sign up for your classes early and fast. These classes do fill up fast. So get with your advisor, have that meeting so you can get signed up for your classes. Get familiar with the Blackboard. Just start clicking on tabs, familiarize yourself with what's on those tabs, so you can go back to those when classes started. When you need to get into those, you're familiar with what is needed to be done in those tabs to fulfill your assignments for that week. Check in every day on your classes. Some things don't get posted. Say class starts on a Monday. Sometimes things don't always get posted on a Monday. So you might want to check in later during the week, making sure that you got all your materials that you need to get done for that week. Use your time very wisely. Read and reread your syllabus and understand what is to be expected of you as a student. It will be all laid out for you in your syllabus. It's really not that hard. I also suggest that you do your own work. This will only benefit you come test time, because this is your class, this is your grade, and like I said, just it's easy to, as an online student, to, if you will, fabricate or cheat on your assignments and stuff. So just do your own work and do it right the first time. It'll only make your time better. Go into class with a positive attitude. Some classes, some weeks you may not like the materials, but if you go into that class with a positive attitude, you'll see that some of that stuff may not be so bad. Review all your materials such as PowerPoints, exam reviews, and use that to your knowledge. It really helps you understand the materials that week. The PowerPoints do a lot of work helping you out, kind of understanding what you're going to be talking about that week. Always keep an open mind while studying and reading, as you're going to be the ultimate dictator of how much you want to learn or how much fun you want to have with that particular topic that week. I've come up with some tips to succeed in your online classes. Like I said earlier, get familiar with the Blackboard. That's where you're going to be spending most of your time. Learn how to use the online library. You'll have tutorials and stuff and a couple of tests and quizzes throughout some of the classes, just to make sure that you know how to use the tools on the online library. There's lots of great information. That's where you're going to be doing most of your research for your research papers, is on the online library. Conform to all your technology on your computer. Update all required programs. Some classes will require you to do so to make your class run a little bit smoother. You'll have a list on there. You just click on there, upload them, and do a system check to make sure that everything's good. You'll be using VoiceThread and Echo 360. It's kind of what we're doing now. It's kind of a voice communicator through your professor and your students for some discussion questions, and maybe for an assignment that you might have, to talk about, just so the professor can get a face-to-face contact type of thing to make sure that you understand some of your work. Something that can be used as a traditional class, but it's used for online. It's kind of neat, actually. Stay in contact with your professors is very vital. If you have questions, ask them. Get familiar with your syllabus and ask questions if you need to. Make sure that you understand all your work. It's not a traditional class, so you don't have the luxury of asking questions every day face to face, so you're going to have to use phone or email. I would suggest using email because that works out the best. And sometimes you don't get an answer until 48 hours, after you ask the question. So what I suggest online is that you're going to have multiple things to do. So if you're stuck on something, I advise that you just move on quickly to something else and wait for that question to get answered. So understanding your materials is going to be vital for you as you're moving through the semester. Sometimes on the discussion questions, they have a tab in the discussion where you can click on. It says coffee shop. It's basically where you can communicate with other students, and or your professor can chime in if you have a question. And sometimes the students can answer those questions for you instead of having to wait for the professor to answer the question. So create a class schedule within the first 2 weeks, because the first 2 weeks of class can be probably the most stressful time to figure everything out. I do work 40 hours a week full-time during the day, and I do all my work at night. I also volunteer some of my time on the weekends, so coordinating my weeks sometimes can be kind of tricky. I devote one time a week that I don't do any homework at all, and I devote that to my family. So like I said, you're going to have to find time and a balancing, it's kind of a balancing act to get all this stuff done in a week. So definitely you're going to need some time away from studies, to have, so everything's not so stressful. Also, another point would be to stay organized. Look ahead in your syllabus, see what kind of stuff you have going on with the preceding week, so that way you can kind of plan out your week. Don't plan much during the week that you're going to have a lot of homework. This could be very stressful. I've been there and done that, and sometimes I don't know how I got everything done. So just kind of know what your workload is and what you can handle, I guess. And just know what you're capable of doing, and just make sure that you allow yourself some time for you as you're going through this semester also. Know when the due dates are, check online periodically, check the calendar. If there's a calendar, gives you a calendar of due dates when everything's due. The syllabus is very good about that. Label everything so you can easily access everything. Sometimes professors like you to label things a certain way. That way it's easy for you to find out where it's at too. And you may have to get creative in some of these classes to stay on top as for your workload, I guess. You know, like I said, you're going to have to get real creative sometimes in some of these classes for some of the work that you're going to do. But as you go on, you're going to find ways that work for you and what ways don't work for you. Have a consistent workspace. I'm in my study room right now. It's been really nice. As I would say, you're going to need a quiet place to study, to do all of your assignments, do all your work that's going to be required. Whether, you know, some people can do it in a coffee shop, maybe you prefer the school library or at home, but whatever you choose, make it be a consistent location to where you know that you're going to have an internet connection that's going to be suitable, you know, and it's going to be free of outside interferences. And so I wish you guys the best of luck, and I hope this video helps you out. Just persevere through some of the stuff, stay on top of things, and because even though it's an online class and you kind of dictate when things get done, but I would suggest that you persevere through everything and stay on task to get this stuff done. And like I said, if you have questions, ask the questions. Professors are there to help you out. But a lot of the stuff you can find it if you just read and reread the syllabus. You know, I've had some experience with that. But like I said, good luck, and glad that you're a UNK Loper. And I hope you enjoy your experience here on this campus as much as I have. All right, thank you. Have a good day.